Hello and welcome to the Red Couch Podcast. I am your host, Ben Harrietha. This week on the podcast, we have a very special guest who has been integral to making specifically the video portion of this podcast happen. He does all the video shooting, the editing, and even for our audio episodes, he puts together the video episodes. Currently, right now, he is behind the camera, but for the first time, he's going to come in front of the camera. So, Brandon, come out from behind the camera and join me on the couch, buddy. You look excited.
I feel like I should have walked around the other way.
Yeah, you think you messed up your little walk-in?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was good.
Okay.
I mean, you're like the guy. I mean, you're the filmmaker here.
Yeah.
I'm just the pretty face who does all the talking. He's the one who does all like the framing and everything. And it's funny. Some of the episodes that I have shot, like you've been busy or something, I look back at them. They look like crap.
That's all good. I can fix it.
I'm very much like I look at like my stuff and then I look at your stuff. It's like, I don't know. Obviously, you have a degree for it. I don't. But it's like the fashion episode, for example, was shot by me, and it's like so bright and blown out.
No, I fixed that though. It's all good. It's all good.
He fixes that because he's good at good at his job.
Yeah.
So
we work with what we got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Brandon, welcome to the podcast. I guess I want to say for the first time, but you've been in the room when I record most of the podcast, anyways. So it's not like you're a stranger to the podcast at all.
Nope.
No. You know the drill. You know what's going on, and you probably know what question I'm going to ask you next. Could you introduce yourself to the folks listening at home?
What do I even say? I don't even pay attention that much. I should know. Like, I'm Brandon. I'm the videographer here. I've been working here for like 2 years. I just finished schooling. What else do I just say? I mean,
there's a new big thing in addition. You're not just our videographer anymore. You're not like our work study videographer anymore. You're our full-time fancy videographer. Have they given you the cards yet?
I did get my business
cards.
You
got your business
cards? Nice 500 there. I was procrastinating making business cards for a long time because I wanted to make them super like fancy and shit and fancy. And then they just kind of came to me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was how I was, because I was thinking of making my own, and then they're like, oh, do you want your phone number, like your cell on your business cards? And I was like, yeah, because now I can still use them.
Yeah, exactly.
I just have to scratch out my work email, my work phone. I've never actually gotten a call on my work phone.
Mine's not even plugged in right now. I don't think
it's not even plugged in.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a call on my work phone.
Yeah.
I don't know. People just call me on my cell or email me usually. I don't think people are into calling landlines too much anymore.
No.
Actually, that's a lie. I got one call.
Okay.
But it was from these guys who were doing like a charity scholarship, and they really, really wanted us to do a story on them. And they called Hannah 3 times. They called me twice, and then they called my cell twice.
That's commitment, because that phone at the desk, even on the card, is just like a bunch of numbers and then like a extension thing.
Yeah.
That's like math. And then you also have your cell there. That's just so simple to call.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's why people usually call my cell instead of the work, is that you have to call a number and then put in the extension, and it's kind of annoying. But even my cell, people are weirded out about calling my cell because it's not a 519 number.
Oh.
It's a 905.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know that. I'm 226. So.
Yeah, it's 905 is like Toronto, Niagara region.
Okay.
Which is where I'm from. And yeah, people get weirded out and they're like, oh, it's long distance. It's like, no, it's not long distance. It's like 200 kilometers away.
See, if you called me and I didn't have your number saved in my phone, I would not pick up. I don't pick up for any number that doesn't like show like the caller ID and everything. I just let it go to voicemail. If they really want to get in touch with me and tell me something, they'll leave a voicemail.
That's my argument with it, because it's like, look, I don't. It's like, yeah, if I don't have your contact saved, that it's like I probably don't know you.
Yeah.
Very much. And like a lot of the time I get like spam calls or just like wrong number calls, and so I just kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
For the most part, I don't know. Most businesses these days have the thing where it shows up on like when they call you, it shows up who it is.
Yeah.
So like I don't miss any like important like work calls at least. But Yeah. So, how you feeling as like, I know you haven't been in the office physically too much yet.
No.
But how you feeling? Like you're now a full-time member of the Interrobang team.
It's really interesting because I feel like I've been kind of like a full-time person for like a year and a bit, because I started here about 2 years ago, and then once we had a new videographer and everything, I kind of just took over the Interrobang side, so I've been more managing all this. So I felt like I've been kind of solo doing my work, not really like being like the mentee anymore. So this position is just kind of like, it's not like, oh my God, so much more responsibility. It's just kind of like, okay, I have more creativity and more like power to like try and create more content for people to actually engage with and enjoy.
Yeah. And more time.
Yeah. More time.
More time's the big one.
Yeah.
I know during this school year, the big struggle with you is just time.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk a little bit about later. I know you have a little saying you like to do whenever you would talk to me about that stuff. So you mentioned you graduated now.
Yeah.
What I know what program you went into, but I'm asking this just for the audience. What program did you go into?
So I haven't graduated yet. Like I'm in internship period, but it's basically over. So I just finished the advanced filmmaking program here at Fanshawe. Super sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's the post grad after the filmmaking degree, right? Yeah. So it's a 2-year diploma and then a 1-year diploma is what you got now. Yeah. That's pretty sick. So why'd you end up? So why that? Like, why that program?
I felt like I just wasn't like ready to like find stuff on my own and everything. I wanted to take more time to develop my skills. Another thing was too, I wanted to keep the videographer job through the summer. I didn't want to go back to working retail. But no, it like advanced filmmaking really like helped like me cement my skills. Like I felt like I was just getting started in my 2-year program in the BRT, and then this AFM really like everyone is very like serious about filmmaking and everything, and you get a lot more like one-on-one with the professors and everything, a lot more guidance, which was really nice and helpful.
Yeah, and you're totally right about everyone being like the people who usually take the 1-year post grads, like the advanced versions, because broadcast journalism has, I think it actually has 2 1-year post grads that you can take. I could be wrong on that, but I know most of the people who end up taking those 1-year post grads are the people who are like, I want to do this like as a career.
Yeah.
So speaking of career, what's your dream job?
I don't know what my dream job is. I think it's just like working with like great people. Like for example, maybe my position right now is kind of just like corporate videography, but I find this super fulfilling because I get to use my skills, make videos and everything. Right now I'm working on like a production right now, and that's super fun as well. Like, and I'm just like a production assistant. So that's every little thing in like just like creating a media and everything I just like love. So, and basically like anything in media is my dream job.
Would you ever like would you ever go to like directing?
I don't know if I'm ready for directing right now. I don't have like any strong visions right now. So I'm just like, I just want to take it slow and develop my skills right now. I'm really into like camera stuff and lighting. I want to develop those skills more. I like, for example, like I DP'd on a bunch of short films and documentaries for AFM, and I just kind of developed more. My camera also helped me too. It looks nice, so it does like half the work for me.
It is a very nice camera.
Yeah.
Because you shot a lot of the shorts you shot on this one, right?
I think I only shot like maybe one thing on this camera this year. The other things I shot were on the Sony FS7s and A7S III.
Both nice, very nice cameras. I love the Blackmagic.
Yeah.
You showed me the Blackmagic, and I want one so bad, even though I know I would not use it, basically. I just think they're so cool.
Oh, it was super nice, super friendly. Like, as long as you know the exposure triangle, you're good.
Yeah, you showed me some of it, and it is basically like, I don't want to be like it's baby's first camera, but it is pretty easy to use and make that what you're shooting look good with that camera.
Yeah, you don't need to have like a complicated interface and everything to be like a big fancy camera. All you need is like, you need your settings quick. You need to be able to change them fast. And like this camera is so intuitive. Like everything you think you can do, you can do. You can swipe, do all these things. Just quick actions, super user friendly. Unlike Sony stuff. Out of Sony, I like the A7S III the best, but still the menuing and everything is just like all convoluted and everything, and I hate that part.
Sony's brutal for that stuff, man. Like I had a Sony phone, and yeah, it's like the menuing's brutal, and like on the PlayStation 5, the menu is like the worst part of that console.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know how they managed to screw up the UI so badly on all of their things.
Yeah,
which sucks because they're usually really, really good. Like, but the user experience, man, on them is like bad.
I don't know, but the PlayStation 3 and PSP like menus.
Oh,
those are nice.
Those one's iconic with the and it's specifically called something. I think it's called like the crossbar or something like that. But I think that's the peak.
Yeah.
Of UI for me because it's just so simple.
Yeah.
Just so sleek.
Yeah.
Everything after that was just too much.
Yeah. Like the PlayStation 4 is kind of similar to those, but it's just kind of like,
Yeah, and the 5 is just like a different version of the 4, but it's even, I think it's kind of worse now because it's got a little bit more clutter on it. So Sony, get your act together. Honestly, you make really, really good products, but your UX sucks. So with filmmaking, and I've just thought of this question basically as we were kind of talking about it. With filmmaking, do you have any like idols? Like, do you have any people that you are like, I want my work to be said in the same breath as this guy?
See, I don't really want to be like compared to like anyone. I just want to like develop my own skills and like there's people I love to work with and who I appreciate. Like I like Wes Anderson stuff, obviously, just film student.
He's so good.
Celine Sciamma. There's Edgar Wright.
Oh man, that would be the dream.
Yeah,
working with Edgar Wright.
But I don't feel like I need to create something to be on their level or anything. I just want to be a part of productions and work towards like someone's vision and help them get there because that's fulfilling for me.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah. No, okay.
I don't need to have all the glory or anything as long as I'm like working and helping and like there's so much that goes into like making something. If I have like one small part in it, even if it's just craft services, for people that don't know, craft services is basically just food. You're just bringing food.
Yeah.
And setting out tables of food. It's beautiful. But like even if it's just that, like just being a part of something, knowing that you kind of had a small impact, that's all I need.
Well, yeah, and I think like people really vastly underestimate how much some of those small jobs do, like on like something like a bigger production like Lord of the Rings, right? Mm-hmm. They talk constantly about how much craft services was like integral to making that movie get made.
Yeah.
You know, because they made all three of them back to back. And so essentially all these actors were living on set, and so they needed someone to feed them, and craft services was there.
Yeah. You never realize like how much you love craft services until it's like gone, because I've been just like past 2 weeks, just like there's just constant stream of chips, nuts, cookies, Gatorade, bubblies, just there.
Yeah, just there, ready for the
and then free meals. Like last night I had ribs. And chicken, yeah.
I went into the wrong career.
Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, that makes sense because, like, and you know what? Some of the names you hear spoken with like most reverence when it comes to like filmmaking are some of the people who filled those smaller roles, right? And not like the big, directed by, Quentin Tarantino. It's like you see, like if you really get into like film nerd stuff, some of the people who like people talk about it, you know, people are like, oh yeah, the cinematographer is like kind of the. I mean, it's not a small role. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely. I don't think like everyday people are thinking about like Roger Deakins or like Dean Cundey, and how. But like, that's like an important part about how a movie looks.
Yep.
And I think those guys need more credit, honestly.
Yeah. Well, like even watching like dynamics on set, like shooting like student stuff versus like actual productions is very different, but like some of like the dynamics in the roles are still kind of the same. Like for example, like even though the director is like the vision maker and everything, the DP has like so much say too, because they're seeing like, okay, this looks good. I see what you're talking about, but what if we try it like this way? They have just as much input as the director, but also the director does have final say, but the DP does craft a lot.
Yeah. I feel like people really forget that like movies are inherently a collaborative effort. Like it's not like made by one person. That person may have a very distinct style, you know, like Quentin Tarantino, Wes Anderson, Edgar Wright. They all have their very distinct style, but it's like the movie is the sum of its parts at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right. And every little part of that sum is important. So my next question.
Yeah.
One of your phrases you would use a lot when we were in like during the school year and we were trying to shoot things. You'd come over to my desk and you know we'd shoot the crap for a bit.
Yeah.
And then I'd ask, "Hey, how's your schedule looking?" And you just look at me and you go, "Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare."
Yeah.
So now, I mean, not at this moment in time, but by the time this goes up, you'll have a little bit more free time.
Yeah.
Are there any projects that you want to tackle, either with Interrobang or just in general, now that you have a little bit more free time in your life?
Yeah, so one of the things I want to do is bring more attention to both like Interrobang YouTube channel and the FSU. For one thing I want to do for the not Interrobang, but for FSU is to make a sexual wellness series. And so that'd be just kind of like exploring like taboos and stuff like that with sexual wellness like advisors and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then also just like opening it up for questions and everything, so it gets the engagement from Fanshawe students but also for a wider audience that doesn't have to be there. Another thing I was thinking about, maybe doing some stuff for the esports teams too, because they don't get really any publicity on like videography or anything.
Yeah, they shoot a lot of their own stuff
Yeah.
from what I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like basically a lot of Fuel's stuff is all done
Yeah.
essentially in-house.
Yeah, they do mostly like live stuff, but just
Yeah.
making some more promos and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Making them some nice stuff, which is cool because even the promos they got now look very cool. It's
Yeah.
just like if they could go that like step further with it, it'd be
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, those are some good projects, man. There was like a little bit of spoilers for the end of the episode. My contract is up with Interrobang, so my time is unfortunately coming to an end here. So I won't be able to materialize some of these, but I'll give them to you as ideas. There was one we've been working on since like December, and I wanted to do a breakfast sandwich battle royale because right around the time that I had this idea, Wendy's revealed that they had breakfast sandwiches now, and I wanted to go buy breakfast sandwiches from all the places on campus and be like, who's got the best breakfast sandwich for your, like, who's the best bang for your buck? Yeah. And I think I bestow that idea upon you.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same stuff that like I want to bring to these channels, because a lot of it, I'm not downing what I'm doing right now, but a lot of what I kind of show to like friends and stuff, it's interesting because I've done it and everything, but it's from another perspective. It's not like something that someone's going to go out of their way to look at. That's the kind of content I want to try and make and bring people more into the YouTube and watch these videos, engage with what we're creating and help people.
Yeah, you're right. Because a lot of the content I think we put out now, not that it's bad. Like I love our stuff,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of the stuff that we put out right now is the people who watch it are people who are already like in our ecosystem, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think we're like bringing in new people. So yeah, I think like if we can expand out our content to like a little bit broader of a range, that'd be really, really cool. And I think you can do that, good sir. So you seem to got your thumb on what's going on.
Hopefully I'm able to pull it off, back up what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if anyone can do it, you can. So speaking of free time, and we're getting into the section of the podcast I'm excited for. Speaking of free time, we talk a lot about video games whenever you come into the office.
Yep.
What games are you excited to play now that you actually have time to play them?
One game that I'm kind of like playing on my like 2 days off is just like Disco Elysium.
God, that game is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good. I just recently finished it for the first time.
Yeah.
I plan on going through it again.
Yeah, I just kind of like started. I'm maybe like a few hours in, but like my friends just like started playing it, and then they're just like talking about it. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about right now. So then that forces me to like play it to like engage with them again.
Yeah, it's so good. For people who don't know, it's like it's an RPG. And you play as a detective who's lost all of his memories. So essentially, every time you do a skill check, you get that skill. Like if you do poorly at the skill check, then your character is just bad at that now. Like it's not like you could retry the skill check. And the writing's really well done, and the mystery's really cool. It's got great music, great art. Play it, but do some research into it before you play it, because there's a whole situation with the publisher right now that is not so great for the people who actually made the game. But we won't get into that one on the podcast because that's a really big, complicated issue.
Yep.
You know about it.
I know about it.
Yep. It's yeah. Anything else you're excited to play?
I will finally have time to get into Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yes.
Yeah, but I also want to like upgrade my computer so I can just like go crazy with the graphics and everything. I also want to get the DLC for Village finally, and then replay through that.
I've been waiting for Village to go on a little bit bigger of a sale. It's gone on sale, but it's gone on sale for like $30-$40.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've already played this game once. Yeah. I don't really want to.
It's like it's on sale right now as we're recording this for like $22. But it still like feels like too much for the DLC.
It does. That's the thing, is it's like, because I don't own the base game anymore, it's like I'd have to buy the whole bundle, and that's So.
I feel like that's probably cheaper now.
Yeah.
To buy it all together.
Maybe I'll check. Who knows? That might be a fun thing for me later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm so excited for you to play it. Yeah. You have to tell me. You have to tell me what you think of it, because it's like super good.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already finished it 3 times at this point. It's so good. I'm planning on trying to do my S+ rank on professional probably this weekend.
See, I'm not that hardcore. Like, I like the Resident Evil games. I like the whole world building. Like, I got into Resident Evil through like the movies. I'm like,
the movies, really?
Yeah, like I loved like the world building, even though if you watch them all in order and stuff, it's
nonsense.
It's all over the place, but I still love it. But yeah, I just kind of go through on normal. I'm like, okay, this is creepy. I just want to get through this right now. Right. I don't try and challenge myself with that game.
See, I am a total, like, I love speedrunning those games. I think they're so fun to just go through as fast as possible. I think my first playthrough took me like 20 hours, but that was on hard.
Yeah.
And then my second playthrough was on professional, and it took me 3.
Yeah, like the only one that I've kind of like ran through is the third one, and I beat that. This is like my second time. Technically, I didn't go from scratch. Yeah, I had the bolt cutters already in my inventory, so it only took me like 2 hours and 25 minutes to beat that whole game.
Yeah, because if you start with the bolt cutters, you can basically skip massive areas. There was and I'm even incorporating some speedrun strats into my playthrough. There's like
too much work.
There's a skip you can do where basically what happens is Leon like clips through a door slightly, and if you mash the interact key, he'll like open the door. from behind it. And you essentially skip a massive area of the game, saving you like 30 minutes.
See, that's too much work. That's studying. Like, I like playing video games. It's fun to play them fast, but then I also have to go and watch movies.
That's true. See, when I get home and get off work, video games is what I do, man. And I'm excited for that to be also you.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes you come into the office and you kind of look at me sadly and go, "How's Resident Evil 4?"
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a bit of like a drought right now. I'm like 1.8 hours in the past 2 weeks. And then even my movies, like the last movie I saw was on the 20th and it was Beau is Afraid. That's a long time for me. 2 weeks with no movies. That's no.
But now you got some free time.
Yeah.
Because, especially going into the summer, we're 9 to 4 on the every day other than Friday. On Friday, we're like 9 to 3.
Yeah.
Which means you get an early start to the weekend, which is awesome. Yeah. So, all right. For one last time, it's lightning round.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how this works.
I know how this works.
It's the lightning round. We're going to do this one last ride, So, first off, favorite food?
Favorite food? Nice burger.
Fair enough. Sweet, savory, or salty?
Nice savory.
You're the first person I think that's picked savory.
I don't even know what any of those means. I just thought savory represents
like sweet is obviously like candy and stuff. Salty, I'm pretty sure that's like pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. But like savory is like you describe like a steak as savory.
Yeah. Like I like a nice like bar like burger.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think you're like maybe like either the first or the second person to pick savory. So that's a first. We already talked about games, so I'll skip this one. Favorite film of all time?
Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
I've heard of that one, but I've not watched it.
I think you've heard about it because I've talked about it before.
That tracks. Do you dance?
I do not dance at all. No coordination.
Mountains or beaches?
I would go for mountains. I don't like beaches. They're all gross.
Yeah.
And I can't swim, so.
You can't swim?
I can't swim.
Huh. Can you skate?
I mean, skateboard.
You can skateboard. You can't ice skate?
No.
Okay.
No coordination.
Fair enough. Do you cook?
I cook chicken strips in the air fryer.
Okay. Is that your favorite dish to make?
Yeah, it's quick and easy.
9 minutes. True enough, man. It's tasty. Coffee or tea?
I don't drink either.
Really? What's your drink of choice?
Water.
Based.
Yeah.
$1,000. What are you buying?
New camera equipment, upgrading the PC. Like I need to get a new tripod. Actually, I don't even have a proper tripod.
Our tripod's messed up right now.
Yep.
I just asked that question. Silliest thing you own?
Silliest thing I own. I would have to say my TV. I don't need it. Like all my expensive things I've bought. It's the one thing I can't justify, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of TV do you have right now?
I have a nice LG C1. That's the one you should buy. OLED. Beautiful.
Oh, is it? It's beautiful, and that's the silliest thing you own.
Yeah, that's pretty silly.
Giant. It's just this giant, beautiful, expensive TV.
Yeah, it's like a meter away from me.
A meter away? How big is it?
55 inches.
Jesus, man. Do you believe in ghosts?
I'd like to believe. I think I do, because if I go into a dark place by myself, I just feel uncomfortable, and I have no reason to.
Right.
So there's part of me that does. Yeah.
Fair enough. And finally, what's your favorite podcast that you've shot?
Oh, favorite podcast episode. Put me on the spot with this one.
That's the point.
I think Galaxy Rose. That was a lot of fun.
That one was a lot of fun. I was thinking as I was writing that question down, I was like, he's going to pick Galaxy Rose. Yeah. I know that for a fact. He's going to pick it because we had a lot of fun shooting that one. It was it was a really, really good time. All right. Well, so before I get into the outro, like usual, it's going to be a little message from me to you. So like I said earlier in the podcast, my time on Interrobang is coming to an end. So this means that this is the last episode I will be hosting, which what a great episode. What a great guest. My buddy Brandon on. What a great, it's been great being the host of the podcast. I really have had a great time, both doing audio and video versions of our podcast, and I got to talk to some great people, both, friends and some really, really cool people from the Fanshawe community and the London community. So, and it's been great to see how the podcast has grown, and I'm sure I'm leaving it in some good hands. I feel like the people who got the podcast from here, they'll know what to do with it. And I hope I hope no one ever usurps my position as the funny guy. It's been an honor being the podcast guy for you guys, as I've been referred to by my friends and many other people. So it's been an honor doing that. So for one last time, I still don't have it memorized. Thank you for listening to the Red Couch Podcast. As always, you can catch up with every episode on our website or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Pick up your copy of The Navigator on newsstands now. And be sure to subscribe to our newsletter to keep up with all things Fanshawe. So, for the Interrobang, signing off, I'm Ben Harrietha.